In the streets of Paris, where hunger met hope and fear danced with freedom, a revolution was born. But was it the dawn of justice or the descent into chaos? Chapter 1. The Seeds of Rebellion. In the summer of 1789, Paris was a city on the edge. Hunger gnawed at the poor, while the aristocracy feasted behind golden gates. Among the starving was Lucien Moreau, a young printer's apprentice who had spent his life watching his father struggle to feed their family. Each morning Lucien passed by the grand palace of Versailles, its walls dripping with luxury, and he felt a fire burn inside him. The people whispered of change. The king, Louis XVI, had called the Estates General, but it had only revealed the deep divisions between the nobility, the clergy, and the commoners. The Third Estate, the people, demanded a voice. In the heart of the city, revolution brewed. Chapter 2. The Storm Breaks. On July 14, 1789, Lucien found himself in the midst of history. The people, tired of empty promises, stormed the Bastille, the symbol of tyranny. He watched as the great fortress crumbled, its stones falling like the old order itself. Liberté, égalité, fraternité, the crowd chanted. Freedom, equality, brotherhood. Lucien picked up a musket from a fallen guard, his hands trembling. He'd never held a weapon before, but in that moment he knew. He was no longer just a poor apprentice, he was a revolutionary. Chapter 3. The Fall of the King. The revolution swept through France like a wildfire. The National Assembly declared the rights of man, and soon the monarchy itself stood trial. On a cold January morning in 1793, Lucien stood in the crowd as King Louis XVI was led to the guillotine. The blade fell, the age of kings was over. But as Lucien cheered with the crowd, he saw something unsettling. Fear in the eyes of his fellow revolutionaries. Power had shifted, but the hunger for justice had turned into a thirst for blood. Chapter 4. The Reign of Terror. With the monarchy gone, Maximilien Robespierre and the Jacobins took control. Enemies of the revolution, real or imagined, were sent to the guillotine. The very people who had once fought for freedom were now consumed by paranoia. Lucien's closest friend Elodie, a poet who had written passionately for the revolution, was accused of treason.
"You must run," Lucien whispered as he led her through the dark streets.
But there was no escape from the blade of the revolution. Elodie was arrested. Days later, Lucien stood in silent horror as she was executed in the name of the very ideals they had fought for. Had they won, or had they become what they once despised? Chapter 5. The Rise of a New Order. By 1799, the revolution had devoured itself. Robespierre was dead, the terror had ended, and a new leader had risen, Napoleon Bonaparte. Lucien, now battle-hardened, watched as Napoleon declared himself the ruler of France. The revolution had begun with dreams of democracy, but had it only paved the way for another ruler? As the sun set over Paris, Lucien knew one thing: the fight for freedom never truly ended. Revolutions rise and fall, kings are crowned and dethroned, but the cry of liberty never fades. It lives on in the hearts of those who dare to dream. And so, as France marched into a new era, Lucien vowed that no matter the ruler, no matter the cost, the spirit of the revolution would never die.